Dun, 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 dun.
There we go.
All
Okay,
right, dude.
let's do it.
And we're live. Good morning.
Oh, we're
Good
live.
morning.
All right.
We are. It's on. We're active. You were sideways, but now you're straight up and down.
All right.
Really important. Really important. You know what time it is, Eric?
Time to get shit done.
It is. It's episode 35 of the Get Shit Done show. We're just like chugging along.
Right.
That's it. That's it. Cheers. Oh, all right. Cool.
All right.
Well, let's see. How about a little positive? Oh, you know, one thing I want to talk about today, in addition to like pitch and perfect prospect and all this kind of stuff, is I want to talk about the art of asking questions, right?
Okay.
And how it can change your life, right? I was thinking about this for a moment, and it's a conversation I've had with many of my students and coaching program students over the years, both in personal development and in internet marketing, is the art of asking questions can unlock all the doors to your future, right?
Right.
And interestingly, you know, people resist asking them. Like you see this in school, right? You know, it's always the minority of the kids that raise their hand, right? Nobody wants to feel dumb for asking a dumb question or to get judged, right? From a very early age. This is like ingrained in many of our heads. So anyway, I want to talk about questions a little bit today, and how to ask questions that can change your life, right? Like how to ask questions is so important. Positive focus is what's my positive focus today. I had a good morning with my kids. You know, woke up, made breakfast, made lunch, brought them to school, dropped them off. Everything went smooth.
Great.
I'm pretty pleased about it. Doesn't always go smooth.
Okay.
It's good.
Yep. Okay, cool.
What about you? What are you happy about this morning?
I got my webinar registration page finished and dialed in, and I feel really good about it. I tested it all out last night. Everything works. It's adding emails to my list. It's all the buttons work, go to the right place. The thank you page comes up, the video plays.
Dude, learning curve, man. Learning curve. This is why it's so important to do them. Because because you learn that the first time and then you'll forget half of it. You know what I mean? And you have to relearn it, or the interface changes, or Zoom no longer becomes the predominant webinar thing, whatever. And so awesome. Way to go. And like when you're learning that stuff, for a lot of us, myself included, it can be like slow going to get acquainted and familiarized with all the terms and the tabs and the settings and the subsettings and what it means and the different, you know, it's like, it's a whole new tool, you know?
Right. No, exactly. Next time it'll go much faster. This one, it was like something that should have taken relatively quickly, took a really long time. I was up late last night finishing it up.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yep.
Cool. That's awesome. Way to go. Rock and roll, man. That rocks. Cool. Well, and I have 2 webinars this week, both hypno webinars. One's a Get Shit Done one with you, and one's a which we haven't really even talked about yet. And one is a hypnosis for sleep session that I'm doing with a client and friend. And so that should be really, really interesting to see how that goes. I haven't done a sleep specific hypnosis webinar before, so really looking forward to that. Cool. So why don't we dive in to the topic of that you wanted to focus on today, which was perfect prospect, or your pitch, right? Who are you helping? How are you helping them? You know, what are you helping them with? These types of questions. And so I'll let you kind of take the reins. It's like, go ahead and fire away. Like, what are your questions? How can I help to guide you here? And I'll probably have some questions for you in response. You know, so what exactly is it that you're looking for more clarity on?
Right. Well, first I should say up until this point, I feel like I've been kind of vague and wishy-washy, trying a little bit over here, being a little bit too broad, and now just trying to rein it in more so I know who I can help with my offer and what I can specifically help them with the most. And um yeah, ultimately I feel like what I was doing in the past was focused on people that are just wanting to make money online, and that was getting me a lot of broke people. And I work with a high ticket offer, so broke people is it's not a really good fit for it's not a fit at all for what we're working with. And more recently I've been kind of leaning in the direction of people that have a job, and they're just stuck at their job, spending all their time at their job when they have a family and a life that they want to be spending more time living, but they're always just working away at some job with a capped income. So I'm feeling like I have more clarity than I did previously. So that's the direction I'm leaning in. And I'm kind of wanting to lean further into that. And maybe there's more, maybe I need to like hone it in more, or maybe I just need to get more clear on what the specific pain points are.
Great. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. So there's two things that's happening here, right?
Okay.
One is that you're trying to get clarity on who you want to attract that would be great as a Kagan distributor and be great on your team.
Yep.
But you're actually trying to solve a much bigger problem.
Okay.
You're trying to discover who the ideal Kagan distributor is. You're trying to find out, but for your team, yes, but like if you can nail the languaging and the focusing on the perfect demographic and type of human being, personality wise, age wise, sex wise, race wise, income wise, profession wise, education, relationship status, do they have kids, like all the stuff. And if you can get
Yep.
so clear on the ideal Kagan avatar, and then you can create messaging in your own voice that is directly appealing and connects with that person, so that you, Eric, find a way of getting on the same page and making friends with that person. Now you've got something. Okay.
Right.
And not only do you have something, but you have something that you can then share with everyone on your team and potentially everyone in Kagan at some point, but
Right.
I'd like you to think about it like you're a detective, and you're trying to uncover something that is clearly not very well communicated within Kagan. Okay. Or you would already have the answer to this question off the tip of your tongue.
Right. Okay.
Right. So check it out. So my answer to this question, and so to all of our loyal fans and Get Shit Done Show viewers, all of this is 100% relevant to you, even if you've never even heard of Kagan. I'd like you to consider your perfect customer, your perfect client, your perfect avatar. Maybe you have no idea who that actually is, or maybe some vague idea, right? So Eric, you're in a wonderful position. Most people are in a similar position, but you're in a particularly wonderful position where you can see very clearly who are the leaders in your industry.
True. Yep.
And just within the Kagan world.
Yep.
Okay. And so I'd like you to write down your questions that you have, that if you could ask an all-seeing, all-knowing, genie in a lamp, you could ask them the question, and the genie would give you it would give you the answer that you're looking for. But you have to ask the question.
Right.
Okay, you have to ask the question.
Yep.
If you're not asking clear enough questions, you're just if you're not asking questions about where you want to go, you're not going to get instructions on how to get there. right?
Okay.
And so you have to ask where you want to go first. And so here's what I'm getting at, dude, is you need to interview the leaders, okay? And you need to do it regularly. And you need to do it to create content, and you need to ask the leaders about themselves and what characteristics do they have and what were they like when they joined and how old were they and like how much money were they making and what were they doing for a living beforehand, and like what makes them them. But then you also want to ask them, look, you're a leader in Kagan, you're crushing it, you've been doing this for a long time, and I'm trying to really get clear on who I should be attracting, and I'm not super clear on it. In your experience, Mr. Jones, in your experience, Ms. Olson, whatever your name is, like, what makes a superstar? What are the types of personality characteristics, the types of background, the types of attitude, the types of, what are the things that make a Kagan superstar in your experience?
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's helpful.
And go and interview at least a dozen people, dude. And you don't have to do it as a live stream. Just do the freaking interviews. Okay. And do it because you're going to share the interviews with their team and with them, and do it because you need to learn the stuff yourself, and you're looking to up your game, and you were hoping that they would share with you some of their wisdom and secrets about how to do this right.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them won't respond to you, but a bunch of them will. Right. And so those people are within your reach. So I could give you, a bunch of Tellman, brainstorming on this, which is great. But the reality is the way that I've learned how to do this is by interviewing people. And when I first started List Crusade, I didn't know squat about email marketing, about list building, none of it. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. All right. And I did the interviews because I needed to learn, and I didn't have the money to buy home study courses to learn. Okay.
Right.
So I interviewed everybody, and over time I learned. But I also learned firsthand who the customers were and what they were all about. Right. So, but I asked these types of questions, and then I did the same thing in the hypnosis and NLP markets with summits. And then I did it in the ADHD world. So yeah, I've run like interview-based summits, interviewing experts who clearly have been down the path for years in front of me, right? And who clearly have millions of dollars of success in front of me. And that has helped me so much. So I would really encourage you to create some killer content, live stream it if you can, and it's easy. If it's not, just do a recording and write down the magic questions that if you had the answers, you'd have $1 million business right now. Write those write those questions down, and interview these people, or something. You know what I mean? Most, and just say, look, it'll be a cool interview. If you want, you can share it with your team. I'm sure it will be valuable to them. I'm hoping I'll learn something, and I'm hoping that it's going to be cool enough that I can share it with my team.
Right. No, I like that. That's great.
Put it on YouTube if you're okay with that, like whatever, Yeah. So that's maybe, that's a longer term answer than what you're going to just get during our hour-long episode today. So we can brainstorm and explore in addition to that, right? But that actually is the answer.
That's a good answer. I like that.
You need to ask the most successful Kagan people what makes a perfect Kagan distributor in your experience.
Right.
And
I'm interested to see if there's like overlap, because everyone's going to have probably a slightly different answer, but there's probably some common themes that are
you're looking for the pattern. You're looking for the pattern.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why you got to interview a dozen people.
All right, cool. Yep.
More is better, but if you want to get this answer in the next few weeks, so that's one piece, right? The other thing is, like, you need, if you have a personality based business, which right now that's what you're doing. Okay, it's not the only option, but it's the way, definitely the way you're doing it, and maybe it is the only option with Kangen. Kangen, did I say it right?
Kangen, yeah. So when you say personality-based business, or do you mean like
I mean that you're
like a
showing up
personal
on video, you're doing TikTok videos, you're doing
Right.
Facebook videos, you're taking pictures of yourself, you're writing posts from yourself,
right?
you're creating a Facebook group, you're the leader of the group,
Right.
you're doing webinars with you on the
Mhm.
webinar. That's what I mean. It's a personality based business, right? If
Right, like a personal
Eric's
brand.
on, yeah, and I mean that's what I've done for mostly for 20 years, right?
Yep.
And so there's nothing wrong with that. But you are really looking to represent and to be an inspiration to that perfect customer or client prospect that you're looking to attract. And so they need to see something in you that they want more of in them.
Gotcha. Yep.
And if there's a mismatch there, it doesn't work, because you seem inauthentic and they're like, who the fuck is this guy? Right.
Yep.
Like, whereas if, it's kind of a classic like attracts like, right? Kind of situation. And so, this can be, and there are lots of, there are surface level things that you can do on this, and then there are deep level things. And so surface level is change your hairstyle, change what you're wearing, change what your background is, and look and sound, and basically put on a act, right? It's put on a suit, put on a uniform. And there are levels of this that seem inauthentic and levels of this that are great. So for example, I go back and forth from having a long, straggly, crazy beard to being totally clean cut, right? As an example. And people always react every single time I'm all of a sudden like cleaned up. All of the more conservative people start following me more. And every single time my hair gets a little bit crazier and wild, more artists and creatives and, people start paying more attention to me, because it's just like on a surface level, it's, people resonate with people that kind of are like them in a certain way. And humans are extremely extremely superficial and extremely petty. Like, we make such fast judgments about other people just based on how they look and how they sound. And so also these simple things, my name is Scandinavian, my last name's Norwegian, right? Well, my first name means man from Telemark, which is in Norway, right? But most Norwegians don't even know the name Tellman, but they do know the name Knudsen and Norwegian. And so I tend to attract Scandinavians to my list, right? It's just that's just the way it goes in many cases. And so getting really clear on who the type of person is that you really want to attract, right? I mean, part of it is you becoming that perfect Kagan distributor, right? You becoming that person all of a sudden is going to start attracting those types of people. This is also, and this is where like the personal development piece comes in.
Gotcha.
So, actually, this is good, Eric. This is great. This is great. This is getting into more hypno land. So, check this part out. So, like, if you want to make $1 million, you need to start acting like a millionaire now. Probably for a few years before it's all going to kick in.
Right.
So it's like, if you want to be a Olympic track runner, you better be at the track right now. Right? Like, that's just kind of the deal. And so when you're thinking about who is the perfect person that I want to attract, right? Who is that? What I'd like to ask you is, where do you see in the business, this is that vulnerable part. Where do you see in the business that you are dropping the ball? Where are you screwing it up? Where are you not showing up in the way that you know you should, yet you do it over and over? And I have these things too, dude. Everybody does. So this isn't like, I'm not singling you out, but it's also vulnerable stuff in terms of like, where do you know that you're failing and not putting in the effort?
Okay, that's a great question. Well, yeah, what immediately comes to mind is, okay, so I'm doing these daily live streams with you every morning, the Get Shit Done show, which is awesome. But I'm not really producing much of my own video content right now, and I
Right.
really need to be. And it's something I did do a lot of in the past, and I fell off of it. And I know that that's something imperative to get my message out and to really connect with my audience on the things that, outside of this show that, my personal brand is all about.
Right.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I have some interesting response to you on that.
Okay, yeah.
Arden's chime in. Arden, I want
Hey,
you on
Arden.
the Get It Done show. You down? I know that I think I owe you a text. I think you reached out to me and I dropped the ball on reaching back. If you're down with getting on the Get Shit Done show, we could have you on this week. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
Actually, that's one thing we're going to start doing a lot more of, guys. We are on episode 35 today, and we've done only a few interviews with a third party. And so we're going to start doing more interviews to liven it up, to change it up, to get some more energy flowing and some variation flowing through the Get Shit Done show. So you're not just talking to me and Eric all day long. We got Curtis in on Sundays, and Angel is coming in here for her first episode on Wednesday. So that's tomorrow, actually.
Tomorrow,
so
yeah.
Send her some info on that.
Cool.
So that should be good. And then Arden, if you're down, we'd love to have you. I've appreciated your comments so far, and Eric says you're cool. So
yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, nice. So so I'm feeling very proud of so this is in response to your question, Eric.
Okay.
I'm feeling very proud of myself. Arden says, let's do it. Would love to be incorporated.
Awesome.
Cool. Rock and roll. So I realized this a couple of days ago about myself. I think it was like on day 32, maybe, of the Get Shit Done show, which would have been maybe February 1st or something.
Yep.
So I've been preaching from my pulpit for years, telling people certainly to email their list every day, but then to start live streaming every day. And even if you use your live stream in order to create your additional social content, whatever that may be for the time it's short form video for most people.
Yep.
But live streaming every day does a few really wonderful things. It attracts new people into your fold, into your audience, into your tribe. It gives you something relevant and direct to talk with your people about, and it gives you a direct connection. And then you can send after you've live streamed, or when you're live streaming, you can send the link out to your people on multiple platforms. And it's a way of connecting with your people every day, right? And actually being there with them and caring about them and attracting new people in at the same time. It's been for years, decades, you know what I mean? Like daily talk show radio has been a thing forever, right? So I've been telling people that they should be live streaming every day forever.
You have been. Yeah, ever since we've been talking.
I even created something called 99 Days. There was a 99-day challenge to live stream every day for 99 days. I created it, and I didn't even live stream for 99 days.
All right.
I copped out on my own commitment to myself so many times on going for a proper live stream streak. I kept on talking about it, but then not doing it myself. Totally out of alignment. And I knew I was doing it, and I was like, damn it. And what I noticed the other day is I finally broke it. I finally broke the seal and successfully am doing a daily live stream streak for a freaking hour for the first time
Every day.
with consistency, not with
Yeah.
intention, but in reality, not thinking about it, but like, and I'm like, okay, well, what's different this time, right? Like, what's different? One of the things that's different, as much as I hate to admit it, is it started on a date that has some significance. Even for all the people who are like, oh, New Year's resolutions are bogus. Fine. I started it on the first of the year. That was different. Okay. That was one factor. Another factor, daily co-host. Huge factor, who's also willing to do it every day.
Right.
Okay. I have a daily training partner. Right. So it's not just me copping out on myself. Somebody else is expecting me to be there. In addition to my sometimes present and sometimes not present audience. Right. So it's not like, oh, maybe somebody will be watching today. Who knows? Maybe they won't even notice if I don't go live. Well, if I just don't show up, you're going to notice, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Vice versa. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And so part of what I'm saying is don't be so hard on yourself. Because the reality is you're doing a live stream every single day with a commercial for the Pure Path to Prosperity every single day. And your Facebook group is growing every single day.
That is true. Yeah, thank you.
7 days a week, right now. It's happening right now.
It is. I noticed about 20 more people joined this past few days.
You're welcome.
Which
I mean, you did all the work, but
but I feel like that must have come from this show. I don't know where else they would have come from.
Well, it also comes from Facebook. As your Facebook group consistently becomes active, you Facebook will show your Facebook group to other people, but it also has the auto invite feature turned on. Remember, so
it's true, right?
It didn't exist. It didn't exist a year ago.
And
so that feature is steadily putting invites in front of your friend list. Right. Like, so there are a few things going in your favor, but one way or the other, dude, you are creating content regularly and you are putting it in your Facebook group, and you should probably be doing more content on social on your own. That's true. But like, you're doing a lot of good stuff right now.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
All right.
So build on what's working instead of berating yourself for what you're not doing.
Okay. True. Okay, here's one thing that I know I need to do every single day, no matter what, and that's my stories. And that has its whole separate algorithm than the other content, it seems like. And something that I've noticed that's really effective, it's really important what your first story is in your stack. If it's really engaging to the eye, you get hundreds of people that go through your entire stack. If your first story in your stack is kind of like whatever, I don't know what that is, nobody's going to click on it. You might get 30 people that look at your stack. Maybe the last one only got like 15 views. But if you have like a really engaging, eye-catching first story on your stack, you'll get hundreds of views on the first one, and like it over 100 plus, like all the way through. And yeah, that's something I need to be doing every single day. It's a really good way to get eyeballs on my offer. It's a really good way to get people directly in your inbox, because when they comment on a story, it doesn't go to the comment thread, it goes to your inbox, and then all of a sudden you're in a conversation in Messenger with them, which is really convenient.
Okay, great. So you need to be doing your stories every day.
Yep.
And is that actually has that actually worked to get you customers before?
That's a good question. I know it's gotten me lots of leads and lots of conversations and connection building.
All right. Well, pay attention.
Yep. I'll pay
Okay. Pay
attention.
attention
Yep.
to the beginning of the conversation thread and whether or not it comes from stories when you actually get customers. Okay. Because
Noted.
cool, maybe it will get you interest, but that doesn't mean it's going to get you customers. Right. So yeah,
True.
pretty important. And Arden actually wants to chime in. He has a little give yourself a pat on the back, Eric. Giving yourself applause can allow yourself to step back and understand that you are accomplishing the things that you need. It's not always about completing big things, but crumbs can still be stacked up to make a full pie.
I like that. Thanks, Arden.
Nice.
Yeah.
So good. So okay. You have a group with several hundred members.
Yep. About 320 members now.
And your members
Mm-hmm.
are all on Facebook because they're in a Facebook group.
Yep.
Okay. And you think you can get more people to join your Facebook group and ultimately book calls with you and become customers
Mm-hmm.
by using stories.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a great way to drive people into my Facebook group, bring awareness to it.
Okay. So I'm just making sure I have it all clear. So what you need to do is you need to start doing stories and teaching your Facebook group how you did it.
Gotcha. Okay.
And using your stories as the case studies. Because now you have a reason not only to get more people in your group and engage in Messenger and then hopefully turn into calls and hopefully turn into customers, and team members, but you already know it's a way of getting in. Like you say with conviction that yes, you absolutely can use stories to get interest and get people to follow you. Like I don't do stories.
All right.
It's that like I haven't. Whatever, call me old man Tellman or whatever. Like I just haven't gotten into it, right?
All right, yeah.
And so I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm saying I don't have experience with it, and so you do, which is great.
Yep.
And if you think it's going to work so well, then do a story every day to tell your group. Get on your group today. Do both a Facebook Live and a post where you're like, hey guys, I want to teach you how to grow any business that you're working on, whether it's network marketing, whether it's with me, or whether it's something else, using a simple, totally free tool that's available on Facebook. And I'm going to show you how it works over the next 14 days, or whatever. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it and exactly how it works. So keep an eye on my stories. And in the meantime, I'll do a little recap video for you every day or whatever. And so you could do something like do the stories, do your best job to get some fucking engagement, right? Like do the best stories that you can. And then later that day or the next day, do a little video about it, little screen capture video where you're like, hey, it's Eric. So we did our first story today and I got 9 responses. Not bad for the first time. It's been a while since I did stories. So in my experience, it takes 3 or 4 days for the algorithm to catch up. So we'll see what happens. Right. But I got 3 or 4 responses, 1 conversation. So far, so good. I'm going to blank out this person's name to keep them anonymous, whatever. But like, you could use Loom or whatever. You know, to do a screen capture kind of video. The point is,
that's a good point.
If you want to start doing stories, that also happens to be a skill, a transferable skill that you can share with your people that would be valuable to them.
Yep, exactly.
So if you want to attract good team members, start by being a good coach to everyone. Treat your group as if they had all given you between $5,000 and $15,000. Like imagine if that group were all invested in the Kagan opportunity, and that's how you approached what you're going to post in there.
I like that. Yeah.
Right? Like, give them your best stuff that you can currently come up with. And the thing is that, like, whatever your best stuff is right now, it's only going to get better. Like, you're only going to get smarter and more experienced. So you don't ever have to worry about like giving away too much, in my experience. You know?
Yeah, no, that's true. Yep.
But to come back to, like, what are you, the original question is, like, what are you dropping the ball on? And so, and you said doing video. And so where I was going with that, we went on kind of down a rabbit hole, but where I was going with that was, what do you need to develop in yourself in order to more consistently be creating your, I went into a strategic solution to your problem instead of continuing to ask you questions. So sorry about that.
That's all right.
What do you need to develop or foster within yourself in order to be more consistent, or in order to do video more often, like you're saying? Like, what's the characteristic? What's the quality that you're looking for?
I need to work on my speaking skills. I've known that for a long time. I was engaged in a course for a while, which was helping me with that. And the course has been under construction for a while, and it was meant to be relaunched a while ago. And I'm still waiting on that. It's not a good excuse, because I could be
I'll give you two
practicing my speaking without
all right, well,
that.
I'm gonna hold your feet to the fire right now.
Yeah,
Watch
let's
this.
do it. Mm-hmm.
So you want to get better at communication and your pitch and all this kind of stuff?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, this is going to do it better than anything else.
All right.
Sorry, you're not going to like it, but it's totally going to work. You're in the city now, dude. Okay? You're not going to... So join BNI and start
BNI?
going to Business Networking International. So join BNI, see if you can get yourself invited to a BNI meeting. Here's why. So I haven't been to a BNI meeting in many years, and when I did, it was in Vermont. So, you know, like, I can only tell you my experience, but BNI is a group of local businesses. You are going to be a weirdo there, most likely. Okay, you're going to be out of place, most likely. You're going to feel like, why did Tellman tell me to go to BNI? Okay. You're going to be like, what is this? So, in my experience, it's the professionals in the area.
All right.
Okay. Often mid-level, but not too expensive suits. It's the bankers. It's the lawyers. Sometimes it's like the chiropractors. It's the realtors. It's the professional services.
All right.
That do need to, like, you need to know who they are locally, and you need to know who you trust for the professional services, who's like going to do it, you know, the tax preparer, right? You know, it's like these types of folks. Professionals, often long-term, boring business people. Okay. Usually pretty conservative. BNI is a system. It's a process where you actually, you should tell Claudia about BNI for what she's doing.
Okay.
That could
yeah,
be,
I'll talk to her about
that
it.
could, because it's a more like normal profession, right? Being a hypnotist at BNI was weird. And then being an internet marketer at BNI in Vermont was even weirder in the early 2000s.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, in the early 2000s. Because
Okay.
I was dealing
like
with
new.
like email marketing and affiliate marketing, and they were like, how do I have a website? You know, I was like, no. So, but here's the thing. The way it works is it's a referral network, and it's a system. And so everybody meets every week or whatever, usually every week, I think. And everyone stands up and they do a pitch, and they say exactly what it is they're looking for a referral. And then everybody fills out referral slips. And ideally, what's actually happened is people bring referral slips in that they created over the course of the last week. and maybe referral slips no longer exist, and maybe it's on an app now or something. I don't know if they still use the slips, because I guess I'm dating myself like hard right now. But it used to be referral slips, and
All right.
so and then everyone would like stick their referral slips in a hat, and then they'd sort them, and everyone would get the referrals, and then people would be expecting your call. So you have all these people in the professional services that are like known and trusted and liked in the area. They're theoretically stable, and they have real high paying clientele that like has their act together, and are hiring professionals.
Yep.
And you intentionally exchange business,
Cool.
non-financial. There's no financial gain. And so, but what you also do is you get good at doing your pitch and getting
All
over
right.
the embarrassment of it. And you have to get like a 60-second pitch down. And so, Kangen has been around for a long time. They've seen network marketers before. They might not even accept you as a network marketer, but if they do, it would be an awesome opportunity for you to hone your skills, pitching your stuff to real people in person, and like being met with feedback and resistance, right?
Okay.
Like I'm not saying go to BNI in order to have a warm welcome. I'm saying go to BNI in order to learn how to pitch effectively and like get over your internal resistance.
All right.
It's a way of practicing every week.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
That I guarantee. It's like doing door-to-door sales, dude. Like it would
Wow.
make you better at everything. Period.
Okay. Gotcha.
Right? So
Yep.
highly recommended there. The second thing is that I would join Toastmasters.
Toastmasters. Okay. What's that?
Oh, you don't know what Toastmasters is? Toastmasters
No.
has been around since the like beginning of time. It's a
Oh,
very
really?
it's a very old organization.
Wow.
And it's it's usually like free or cheap to become part of.
Okay.
And it's public speaking.
Oh, really? Oh,
It's
cool.
practicing public speaking.
Wow.
It's learning how to present. And almost every city has a Toastmasters organization.
Cool.
Every single one.
Yep.
Maybe it's like $20 a meeting or something like, but very affordable. Like not, and so again, it would get you practicing your pitch in real time in front of real people that are probably not your target market.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Which like is going to gets you over all the hard stuff. So those, like, if you want to improve your pitch and your communication and your presentation abilities, and meet some people locally, like that are entrepreneurial-ish.
Okay.
Like that would be awesome for you. That'd be super
Great.
beneficial. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll check that out. Thank you. Yep.
And it's also possible that it's likely that there's both a Toastmasters and a BNI on your island in Hawaii. So
could be. I'll check that out.
Yeah. Could BNI.
Right. Yep.
All right. So but those are some great ways you can get better in terms of looking at yourself. So you want to get better at speaking and communicating. You want to get more consistent at creating video content for yourself online. So consistency is one. Putting yourself, you're not afraid to, someone who's not afraid to put themselves out there is one, right?
Yep.
Let me ask you a question, Eric. Do you think that someone who has a YouTube channel and or regularly live streams or podcasts is going to make a better candidate or a worse candidate for Kagan?
Yeah, they'd be way better at it than somebody that's not doing those things.
Why?
They are, well, for one, they have an audience that's listening to them, presumably.
or at least they're trying to build
Or at
one.
least they're trying to build one.
Putting a little effort. At least they're putting some effort into it, right?
Right. But they're not afraid to get their message out there, and they're doing it regularly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where
Yeah.
I see that's a major blockage for a lot of people that get started with Kangen. They're not in the flow of doing that, and they're too scared and have all this resistance that's preventing them from even just making basic content that's not even pitching. Just like, hey, this is me, this is what I'm about. Sometimes I see people not even taking that step to like build any kind of a brand at all. And so having some people that are in the, like, already have a personal brand, they're putting their message out there, they're in the flow of creating content regularly and have an audience, or are actively working on building one. Yeah, no, that's a huge plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I agree. I mean, so you have a couple of options in this situation. Option one is you try to teach all the people in your group or that you come across that they should be broadcasting regularly, that they should start getting over their fear and doing the thing, right? That's one option.
Yep.
Another option is that you simply invite people to have a conversation on live stream that are already proven that they're not afraid of live streaming. And so like if you I don't know if this example would actually work, but it would be worth trying. So when I was thinking about live streaming, initially I was thinking about like what we're doing right now, right? Where your face is on camera and you're talking to the camera and whatever. But there's a lot more people that are out in the gaming world that live stream with only showing, they have their voice commentary and they're showing them playing video games. And my son's one of them, right? And so it makes me wonder about the future of video game streamers and whether they're our new like influencers in the making, right? Maybe.
Oh gosh, I hope
not that. Well, no, they're just kids right now.
Yeah,
and then when they get older, they're not going to be afraid of like turning on the camera and going because they've already been talking publicly because they've been doing it.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. Yeah.
They've been public speaking since they were kids.
That's a good point.
Right?
I mean, hiding behind a video game, but still speaking publicly.
Well, that's more than most people do.
That's a good point. Yep.
Right. So all I'm saying is that like that fear of public speaking and for example, basically just say YouTubers.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
What if you said step one, I only talk to you if you have an active YouTube channel. If you don't have an active YouTube channel, I'm not even going to have a conversation with you. Right. Like, because you're not even willing to create content out of your own volition. You know what I mean? If you don't have enough like initiative to want to like get out there and share something cool with the world, then what, like, go away. What are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, you're clearly not in the right business, right? And so if that's the type of person that you're trying to attract, then engage with those types of people specifically who are already over the fear, right? And interestingly, who knows? Maybe going to Toastmasters is like the perfect lead source for you. Or maybe Toastmasters and BNI is the perfect lead source for you because you've got a legitimate long-term health-oriented scalable side hustle that people can start in their spare time, and all the people at BNI and Toastmasters are all going to be reasonably professional. You know what I mean? So, and have some cash. So it could even be that those actually become ideal lead sources for you. But whether we're talking about that in person or online, it's still the same basic idea, is that like if you find out that all of the successful Kagan people are all doing webinars, then maybe you just start by like looking for people who do webinars. Okay. Right? Do a joint venture with a small company who has a webinar software. Do a joint venture with somebody who teaches people how to do webinars, or launched a product about how to do a webinar framework. You know what I mean? Like these kind of things.
Okay.
Brunson just taught a bunch of people how to do webinars. So you could retarget people who are paying attention to Russell Brunson right now.
True.
In order to just because that's what he's teaching. Right.
Right. I'm in some of his communities now. So
right. And so
point.
The point is, become the person that you want to attract and then highlight what you're doing to become that person. Okay. So in the case of teaching people the story method, this is an example of that. Okay. Do the thing and declare it publicly and share it with your people so they can do the thing too. Okay. If what you need to do is if you, want to improve your message and communication, like have somebody videotape you or do a live stream while you're doing your first pitch at BNI from across the room.
Okay, sure. Yeah, okay? Totally. Yep.
If you really want to improve your communication, like go to Toastmasters and live stream your first like public speech, and like
that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Hopefully putting your foot in the mouth, like just like be there with them and let them experience the journey through you, because they're in many cases too afraid to, or maybe you'll inspire them to join that journey themselves. Yeah, but your question was around how do I attract, who am I trying to attract? How am I going to help them? What are their problems? And maybe you're trying to attract people who have jobs, but I don't think it's that simple. Maybe
I think it's probably not either.
Maybe you're trying to attract maybe you're trying to attract moms of young children who work from home part-time and want to get a side hustle going so they can break free from their kind of crappy job that they have to do because they're raising their toddler, but they still have to work. And you're trying, maybe that's your ideal market. I don't know. I
know that there's that's a huge demographic in our organization, not in my team specifically, but in my upline, and the sidelines is full of that demographic.
Okay. Well, then, like, if that's the demographic that you find that seems to be the ideal, then you create a group or a community to serve that demographic with their challenges. Like, if you're trying to attract married women with toddlers who work from home, for example, then you're obviously not going to be that person, but you can create a welcoming, supportive community for those types of people. And you can focus on interviewing the shining stars in that demographic rather than you being the man. Even though you would be, like, you could just focus on spotlighting all the women in Kangen, who are the icons of that demographic, right? Like, basically the super moms.
Sure.
Right. But the more that you can embody the characteristics of the types of people that you're trying to attract, the easier it's going to be for you to attract those types of people. And so, it really comes back down to, interview all the top people in Kagan and find out who they were when they joined, and find out what are the characteristics in their time in Kangan. What are the characteristics of the ideal superstar? Like, in your experience, if you had 100 of these people, everything would change. But who is it? Like, who is the masterpiece? Like, who is the champion? Who is, like, what are, in your opinion? And everyone's opinions, as you mentioned, are going to be filtered. They're all, because we all look through the world through our own eyes, right? And so everyone's biased. Everyone likes people who are like themselves, you know what I mean? And who reaffirm that, you know, we're worthwhile human beings. So you have to kind of see through that. But when people say that, you know, there might be 5 key phrases, there might be five terms that people use that essentially are very similar or mean the same thing to describe these types of people. There might be an age range. It may be male, it may be female, it may not, you know, that might not be so much of a factor. But I mean, I know that your upline is Swedish,
right?
Heavily Swedish oriented.
Yeah, they are.
So that's interesting because that's going to be, it's going to lean towards Swedish sensibilities. You know what I mean? So don't just interview the Swedes, like interview some people in Kangen that are in America. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That have
I mean, there's my direct upline, but I'm part of like a broader community platforms where there's people from really all over. So
yeah. Dude, even consider like doing this interview series and just like, just making it available to everybody in Kagan or something like just, you know, make something really cool that's inspirational and that gets to the bottom of like who we're really looking to bring into the fold.
All right.
Who are we looking for?
Got you. Yeah, that's great. So you mentioned maybe not live streaming it. I guess I'm curious your thoughts on that. You think is there some, I don't know. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are that there are many people, in my experience, who don't live stream regularly, who are hesitant to live stream because they don't know how it's going to look.
Oh, okay.
They don't want to say something stupid. They don't want to stutter. They don't want one of their fake eyelashes to fall off.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Right? People are like vain and self-conscious.
All right.
And it takes a person who's used to flipping on the camera and live streaming on a regular basis to just be like, yeah, I'm down. Sure. Tell me when and where I'll be there. If everybody says when and where I'll be there, I'll do it on Zoom. I'll do it on StreamYard. I'll do it on this. I'll do it on that. Great. Easy. But if there's any resistance, just do a pre-record.
Okay. That makes sense.
And
yeah, I mean,
that will put them at ease.
Okay. Gotcha. Yep.
Yeah. If you got anybody who's like cranked up. We got some more. We got some more commentary from Arden. Arden's our champion commenter today.
All right. Hey, thanks, Arden.
Eric is the champion. Interview and utilize all the friends in Hawaii who preach naturopath, and have them make UGC content. Oh, user generated content.
Cool. Yeah. All right.
Dude, you should have you should do like a water taste testing.
Like a blindfolded water test.
Yeah. Get like Kangen. Get like a Berkey tap water and like store-bought, some kind of good store-bought water or whatever, and blindfold a bunch of your friends and live stream it. Make it a thing.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
It'd be great. I mean, it would be fun, especially if everybody chose the Kangen water as the good stuff. But if not, it would be really funny. Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. But that, you know what? That's an example of like, that would be risky to live stream. I think you should do it. But like, can you imagine live streaming that and it not working in your favor? Like, okay, well, that was an interesting experiment. Maybe we won't do that again. Maybe you'll delete it afterward. You know what I mean? Maybe. But still doing it is like, we don't know how this is going to turn out. You know, like it shows you got some guts, you know?
True.
And like that will cause people to watch it.
Okay. Yeah. Right? No, I think so too. Yep.
He's talking about cats. Use some of the cats too.
Oh,
Oh,
the cat. Yo, no, it's true. Yeah, cats, they can tell the difference. I've noticed that my cat is constantly drinking out of the machine. She'll like drink out of the drain hose while
that's
it's
funny.
flowing. Yep.
All right.
It's her preferred source of water.
You could also totally just do the test with random friends a couple of times. Like have a dinner party, try it out once. Tell them you're running an experiment and you want to see what kind of water they like the best, and like label 3 different Dixie cups or whatever like that. That would be like, yeah, like a blindfolded. It's like the Pepsi challenge, right?
Exactly.
The
Yep.
Kagan challenge.
Hmm.
That's actually really interesting. So challenges obviously are a thing online. There's a whole model, right?
True.
And the
Yep.
Pepsi challenge is like 40 years old or whatever. But it's the blind, and you're selling liquid, right?
That's
So like,
true.
how could you do the Kangen challenge? I feel like you could set up at like farmers markets, or like you could set up a booth somewhere with the 3 different types of water and the blindfolds, and like make it a whole skit. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
assuming people consistently chose Kangen as the water of choice, it would work out really well.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see. I'm curious now.
And it would also be something that if you could crack the model on it, it would gain interest. People would watch it. It's something you could live stream. It's something you could do as a public demonstration, and it's also something that is very transferable to other distributors, right? So if you can figure it out. So that's actually an interesting, and it also involves communicating and presenting.
True.
Right? Like, it's a hook. It's a way of.
It's really surprising that I've never seen it done before.
Yeah. So this is actually really, this is the best part of our whole episode today. So if I'm imagining you set up so just imagine that you have a Kangen water cart or display, like kiosk display case on wheels or something, right? And there's like a Berkey, Kangen, Polar, I don't know, water, maybe not even a Berkey, maybe it's something else, but like the top 3 most expensive, readily available water solutions or something.
Yep.
And it's just like one of those real, you have somebody with a camera, they're videotaping the whole thing, and you put the blindfolds on and they taste the water, and every time, sure enough, Kangen wins. Take the Kangen challenge, what's the best water? What's the best? It could just be like, try the best water you'll ever drink. Like, you want proof? Let me show you proof. Here's 40 episodes of people trying this with blindfolds on, saying Kangen's the best.
Right.
Like, argue with that. You can't do it, right? So anyway, set up set up 3 water situations on the counter, and like invite some people over this weekend and videotape it, and like see what happens. Like, that would be a really, really smart thing to try.
That would be really cool. Yep. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll try that.
Yeah. Cool. But like that, like, you can do that at BNI. Like, you could set up, right?
Yeah.
Like you could do that as your public speech at Toastmasters. Like, you come in with your like Kangen kiosk on a dolly or something,
Mhm.
or something. I don't know what it would be, but you pop open your trunk and you got 3 water filters. They all pop out like a Jack in the Box.
Right.
Um, you could have like a trench coat with like three, three IV bags filled with water. That's getting a little weird, but yeah, no, doing a public demonstration. Arden says public demonstration also on conductivity too, letting people know their water is living hydrogen.
Right.
Talk about the downsides of the machine. Oh, and let them know that you have fixed those too. Oh, good. Sounds like does Arden have experience selling water ionizers, Eric?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right. Well, we've been going for an hour, so now would be a great opportunity to tell people about your Pure Path webinar coming up.
Right. So inside my Facebook group, the Pure Path to Prosperity, I am tonight presenting my second ever Wave of Prosperity webinar. And
Catch the wave.
catch the wave, ride that wave to prosperity.
That's right.
And so we've been talking a bit about Kangen water, and that's the high ticket offer that we have inside of our network marketing organization. And this is something you can use to create a lot of income right from at home. You can create your own schedule. You're not working for other people on their clock. You can really create a life that feels very aligned for yourself and spend your time in your own environment and working towards your own goals instead of somebody else's goals. And we're going to be talking all about both the product. I'll tell you all about the benefits of Kangen water tonight inside the webinar, and also the business model involved with that, how the compensation plan works, and also give you some case stories about some of the other people involved and what it's created in their life and the kind of freedom it's brought to them, to give you some real life examples of what you can expect this opportunity to do for you. So you can register. I just got my registration page for my webinar dialed in. I was up late last night finishing it off, tested it out. The whole system works and is functional, and you can click on it. The link is in the bottom of the description below this video, and I'd love to see you there.
Awesome. Cool, guys. So yeah, check that out in the PS. There's a link to where you can register for Eric's webinar, for his Prosperity Wave webinar this evening, and highly recommended if you want to get involved or want to learn more about Kangen and the ultimate water opportunity. And check out Eric's group, the Pure Path to Prosperity, where you're going to be broadcasting that too, and as well. So that should be really, really cool. Yep. Looking forward and you're making great progress. You're just,
Thank you.
With every week that goes by, you're going to keep getting better and better at this. So really, really good. Really good. Awesome. Well, with that said, I don't think that there's all that much more to talk about today, Eric. I think this is a good time for us to wrap up.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. Eric, thank you for being a fabulous co-host. We covered a lot of good ground today.
We did, yeah.
Thank you, Arden, for being so chatty. Really great to have you here. Looking forward to having you on the show in the near future.
Definitely.
And thank you to all of our lovely viewers. Thank you for being here. And I will see you all tomorrow.
With Angel. Great. Cool.
9 a.m. Eastern.
Well, thank you, Tellman. Today was great.
Awesome. You're welcome. Thank you, too. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you soon. Toodles.